Test, test, test. Test. Okay.
Uh-oh. Stephanie. Did I control it? Why can't I push a button and say go?
We can get one of those Staples binders.
One of those things like America's Got. Good. Welcome, everybody, to the Rye Town Council meeting of May 18th, 2023. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, bless this assemblage. Grant us the wisdom to make every decision fair-minded in the best interest for all its residents. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Pamela Jaffee.
Here.
Councilperson Jill Axelrod.
Here.
Councilperson Thomas Nardi.
Here.
Councilperson Lindsay Jackson.
Here.
And Supervisor Gary Zuckerman.
Here. Adoption of the minutes for April 20th, 2023. If there are no objections or corrections, may I have a motion and a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing for local law number 3 regarding the deputy receiver of taxes, or I should say the residency of the deputy receiver of taxes. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is open. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak? Are there any members of the council who wish to speak? Let me just say what this is about. This establishes the residency requirement for the deputy receiver of taxes to be in the county of Westchester, not necessarily in the town of Rye. This gives us, as a town, the ability to choose a deputy receiver who does not necessarily reside in the town at the present time. It's required normally that a public officer, of which a deputy receiver is one, as well as the receiver, the clerk, and all of us, be residents of the town, but that may be altered by local law, which this does. Any comments from anybody? May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Closing the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, local law. Voting to approve local law number 3, which I had just previously described. May I have a motion and a second to approve the local law?
So moved. I'll second.
Hope, please call the roll.
Councilperson Jaffee.
Yes.
Councilperson Axelrod.
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi.
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson.
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. While we're doing Appoint, I'd like to skip down to number 6.2, please. Resolution to appoint Stephanie Maciel to serve as the deputy town clerk. We had passed a resolution last month permitting the town to appoint up to 3 deputy clerks, which is permitted by law, as long as we pass a local law doing that. And obviously, Stephanie has been with us for some period of time and has acted as a deputy clerk and is qualified to be a deputy clerk. And so now we appoint Stephanie as deputy clerk. Hope, I'm sure you want to say something.
Yes, I'm very fortunate to have Paola Ponce and Stephanie Maciel working with me. They are very assertive, and they try really hard to learn everything possible, and they're just wonderful with the customers and with the community. So therefore, I think it's I ask that you support this and that it will make things so much better, because if I'm not there, or if one gets sick and I'm not there, at least there'll be someone to certify documents, and we need that daily and often. So thank you.
Thank you, Hope. Anybody else?
I mean, just want to give you kind of an applause because you are such a good mentor. And I know that anyone who serves as a deputy clerk or works under you always ends up having a very bright future and does great things. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to
Appreciate
your
that.
deputies.
Thank you. May I have a motion in a second, please?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Hope, please call the roll.
Councilperson Jaffee,
Yes.
Councilperson Axelrod,
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi,
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson, and
Yes.
Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes. Presentations, we have Community Cleanup Day, which we had last week. Is Brian here? I know he's not in the room. Is he on?
Brian,
On Zoom?
unfortunately, is quite sick, so we could put it off to the next meeting, or just a quick note that we had about 50 people sign up across the 5 sites. Unfortunately, our original day, April 29th, was
Rained out.
rained out, and then the 30th was winded out, I believe. Supervisor, you made the executive call on that one. I know that Port Chester did go ahead on the 30th, and they did their cleanup and planting right before the horrible weather hit. The rest of us came out on May 7th in the sunshine. And actually, there was a nice turnout. I do think the only area that was a little, unfortunately sparse was Mamaroneck because of all the date changes. But other than that, we had fabulous turnout. We got wonderful, thank you to the local newspapers. We got great coverage for it, and hope we can continue doing this, getting such a good turnout.
Thank you, Pam. Anybody else? It was a very nice event. A nice sunshine, which is good. Pride celebration. Pamela,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
I feel like the official events coordinator for the town of Rye. So this year, we are embarking upon our 3rd year of Pride celebrations with the town of Rye. We are, I'm going to make a joke. That's not really a joke. We're very proud of how much our celebrations have grown over the course of 3 years. We started with 2 flag raisings, one at Crawford and one at Ryetown Park. Last year, it ended up being a longer ceremony at Ryetown Park, followed by the mural unveiling from the youth who work with the Pride, P-R-Y-E-D-E, organization to create this beautiful community uplifting mural every year. And we had a tiny little promenade down from the flagpole at Ryetown Beach to where the mural was. And actually got some feedback from community members saying, we missed the White Plains Parade. The parade in New York is really big. Do you know of anything that's family friendly and local? And we're like, well, we already paraded down half a boardwalk. Why don't we extend this year? So we have made it bigger and brighter and more proud this year. We're doing 2 major events, and we are soliciting volunteers still for both. Here at Crawford, over Memorial Weekend and through June 1st, we're going to be turning one of our crosswalks here in front of Crawford Mansion into a rainbow crossing. So it is going to be a visible statement of our pride in our community and how we uplift every single member of the town of Rye and beyond right here in front of the mansion. And we'll do a great unveiling of that along with the flag raising on June 2nd at 6 p.m. And we're hoping to invite community members, local leaders, students. We'd love everyone to come and join us at that. Then, fast forward a week and a half, on June 10th, we are going to be having a Pride Parade and Fair at Ryetown Beach, and we're really excited about that. So 9:30, we're going to kick off with the short speeches this time, and then a ribbon cutting along the Pride Pathway. The Pride Pathway is going to go from Oakland Beach all the way down to Playland. So Playland has actually allowed us access to their boardwalk, and they're partnering with us on this endeavor. Turning around, then we'll have a big mural unveiling, and then there's going to be a Pride Fair, and we're working really hard on that We have some great artists coming, poets and students who are going to perform, and musicians. The local libraries are going to be there giving out information, local LGBTQ community services, the Loft. Everyone's going to have tables there. It's going to be really kind of a vibrant event. So I'd say get to Rye Town Park on the 10th around 9 o'clock. We'll be setting up and the fair will just be starting, but stay until noon because it's going to be a really wonderful day. And I think the kick off to something bigger and brighter.
Pam, could you state the date again, please?
Okay, so for Crawford Park, our commemoration will be June 2nd, 6 p.m. in front of Crawford Mansion at the flagpole. And for Rye Town Park, it will be June 10th with the fair opening at 9 a.m., speeches 9:30, a ribbon cutting shortly thereafter, a community parade down the length of the boardwalk and back again, and Pride Fair through noon at Rye Town Park on June 10th.
Thank you. Questions from the council? Great presentation. Do me a favor, Hope. I don't know if you have it. All the stuff that Pam presented, could you add that to the agenda package, please?
Sure,
Under 5.2 Town of Rye Pride Celebration.
I will, and it's also on the website, but I'll add it to the
Okay.
package.
And the website does have a portal where people can click to volunteer because we still have opportunities.
Okay, very
One more
good.
thing, we have to, there's a resolution.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I almost forgot that one. We have a resolution to approve volunteers to assist in the sponsored Pride celebration. Obviously, we do this for insurance purposes. Anybody who volunteers for the Town of Rye or the Rye Town Park Commission, we pass a resolution so that they can be covered by insurance. So, hopefully nothing happens that will require it, but it's better safe than sorry. So for that resolution, may I have a motion and a second? Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Jaffee?
Yes.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi?
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Next up, Juneteenth celebration at the African American Cemetery. I know that, Tommy, you were working with Vic. I don't see Vic here right now.
I had a meeting.
And with Pam, of course. All right.
Above everything.
I met with Vic and John Zicka to measure the length for railroad ties, because we're gonna put, we're gonna be putting railroad ties around, for the entranceway, at the key, because we're gonna put, 3/4 bluestone in, so this way it's not a muddy trail when it gets wet and stuff, so this way it's nice. We'll have 3/4 bluestone going up, and the railroad ties is to keep that in place in case of inclement weather, it doesn't wash it away. So the railroad ties will have it and keep it in place. So we're gonna start with that. We took the measurements, they're gonna have it delivered, and it'll be there for Juneteenth to start putting it down. Whatever we don't finish, John said he'll take care of. Because it's gonna take a while, because there's, I believe there's a total of 80 feet for each, 40 feet per, not 40 feet, I'm sorry, it was longer than that. We needed 40 railroad ties, we needed. So, but with all the root systems and everything, we're going to be putting rebarb, and we're going to drill through the railroad ties and put rebarb, and this way we go in, and then once we hit rock, because there's a lot of ledge there, so once we hit the ledge, then we just cut the rebarb off, and then we'll use it for the next piece. We're only doing one layer, we're getting 6 by 8, so this way we'll have 8 inches up, and then it gives us enough room to put 4 inches of trap rock up the way. This way we have a nice solid base. There's some trees in the way, we're gonna have to work around the trees and their roots. So it's gonna take time to do. It's gotta be, of course, the railroad ties have to be cut with a chainsaw, so it's gonna be interesting.
So maybe we extend our insurance policy to the Juneteenth volunteers.
Yes, you're gonna need to have the insurance policy with that too, because we are gonna be working with some, heavy tools, sledgehammers and, stuff like that, because you're gonna have to pound that rebarb into the ground.
Volunteers are going to love that.
They're gonna get a workout.
That's awesome.
They'll get a workout, so. But, I'll be there, John will be there, Vic, there's gonna be enough people, to supervise, so nobody gets hurt. All right, so we have to get the railroad ties in first. Once they're in, then we can measure to see how many yards of gravel we need. And then we'll go from there. John has a good connection for the railroad ties, and he has a good connection for the gravel. Okay, so that's what we're gonna use.
That's great. And just to clarify, this is once again, I believe it is our third time going to the historic African American cemetery for Juneteenth. Tommy, I reached out to the local schools today to give them the link on the website for more information, and Sue, who works on marketing for the town, is putting up a volunteer sign up on that page on the Rye Town website. We are going to have a brief presentation marking the history of the day presented by the Friends of the African American Cemetery. It's a really important day, and I'm really pleased that every year we get together, we partner with the Osborne, and just to let everyone know, this pathway that Tommy is speaking of that leads into the cemetery is actually owned by the Osborne. So this is a project we do in conjunction with them.
They help us with the trees as well.
They help
They
us
do-
with,
We formed a really great partnership with the Osborne. They were really wonderful. And I'm so pleased that with this particular project, for years, we've struggled to get into that entrance, that muddy trail, and now it's going to be a lot
Beautiful.
easier for people to get in. It's going to look good, and it's going to be easier to traverse. Tom?
Can I ask you something? In reference to the volunteers, since our June meeting is on,
I was going to get to
Right,
that.
okay.
You're reading my mind.
sorry.
May I have a
Excuse
motion to approve the participation of volunteers for the Juneteenth celebration to be covered under the town NYMER general liability policy?
I'll make the motion.
and I'll second.
Hope, call the roll. Thank you.
Councilperson Jaffee?
Yes.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi?
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes.
I have one more thing about sorry.
I'm so glad you could read my mind.
We have, there's 3 graves, well, there's a couple graves that are knocked over, but we had 3 that were actually, it looks like it was physically, they separated from the base. Somebody actually picked them up and laid them down. For a reason, we have no idea. So Vic got, called the company, headstone company, to come to give them a price on getting them repaired, to have them put up. The pins on the bottom are still there, so they weren't damaged, but for some reason they were lifted up. One of the foundations is a little crooked, so we would have to straighten that out, because otherwise it might topple, so we have to have that fixed. But the other 2 were, I don't know reason why they were picked up and laid down, so we're gonna get that, so they can't do it. So we'll see what happens. We're waiting for a price on that.
Yep, I know Vic is working on that. Thank you, Tommy.
I know that this is one of the town's properties, but it's such an honor that it is one of our properties. And that every year we get to go in and uplift and celebrate it, but also make sure it retains, I don't know, its beauty and appeal and its sense of history, and we honor the people in it. So thank you, Tommy, for.
Well, you know what, with me, my dad, when he was superintendent of highways, he actually helped when they rediscovered the cemetery up there, and he was also involved in helping trying to get it straight and cleaned up and all. So to me, it's also a little sentimental doing this.
Yeah.
And I remember with Dave Thomas, when he first started with this project as well, because he's done a lot of work, Dave Thomas, on this.
He's done a great deal of work, and much credit goes to him,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay, we're finished with that subject. Next one.
That's a big
Resolution
one.
to another celebration. A resolution approving the donation by the town of Rye to the American Legion, Portchester Post 93, in the amount of $1,500 towards the Memorial Day ceremonies and parade. This is something that we do every year. Any questions?
No.
If not, may I have a motion and a second?
Second.
I'll call the roll, please.
Councilperson Jaffee?
Yes.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Nardi?
Yes.
Councilperson Jackson?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman.
Yes, thank you. And that completes our resolution portion. Reports? No. Yeah, of course.
On the agenda, there's a program for that day, so that everyone will have a schedule if they like to attend any of the events. It's right on there.
And whatnot. So here it is.
And I'll put it on the website, but it's on our agenda.
No, where are you looking?
Right here, it's on the bottom.
Page 21.
The memorial, yes, I'm sorry.
Page
I- Yes, I know that. It is in the agenda package. Memorial Day program starting at 8 o'clock
At the marina, yeah.
at the marina through 11 o'clock at Veterans Park, which is where the,
It'd be nice to have residents come. It's very important to the veterans to see you there. I'll be there. I go there every year. So it's a really nice ceremony that they do at each station. So hope to see people out there.
There's going to be a parade as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
High school band.
Is it on the actual Memorial Day or is it on the weekend
It's on
preceding?
the Monday, the 29th. Actual more.
actual
Yes.
Memorial Day.
Yep.
All right, great. Thanks. So, assessor report? Charles?
Good evening. All right, currently our assessor's office, we are finishing up all the exemptions that processing for 2023. We're finishing up the valuation process that obviously we do every year to keep the town at 100% market value. That will be completed and the roll will be posted June 1st. It'll be on the website. We'll have all the change of assessment notices on the website and mailed out for June 1st. Currently, we're looking good. We're looking at maybe approximately a 6.5% increase across the board, across the town. Last year was a little higher, but the values have slowed down a little bit, so we're looking only at about a 6.5% increase in values. That's residential. Commercial values will be staying flat across the board this year. Obviously, unless there was work done to a property or any other reason that would make the value change. We're looking forward to finishing up the roll. That's really where we're at right now. We don't really have much else going on. I know as of June 1, we'll be running a report that the supervisor asked for in regards to the shift in the amount of people applying for the senior citizen exemption. We'll have some good numbers for that for the next meeting, and I'll have a report on that. That'll be a little more thorough, but as of right now, that's pretty much where we're at with the office.
All right, let me emphasize the fact that the average assessment goes up by any percentage has no real relationship on the amount of tax that a resident pays. The tax that a resident pays is based on the amount of tax levy by the taxing jurisdiction, the school, the village, the county, the town. So what's important in terms of the assessment is whether your assessment has gone up proportionally more than somebody else's assessment. So if your assessment went up 4% and your neighbor's went up 5%, your neighbor will pay proportionally more. But that's equalizing the values of all the homes. Basically, the town of Rye's object is to assess each home at its fair market value as of the taxable status date, without regard to whatever the taxing jurisdiction happens to be levying for that, during that particular time period. So I just want to make that very clear. Have I stated that correctly, Charles?
Perfect. It was perfect. Well, I just wanted to say also, we're going to be putting on the website what the neighborhood's percent changes. So you'll be able to compare your neighborhood to another neighborhood. So you'll be aware of whatever effect it's going to be on your property. That'll be on the website, obviously for June 1st as well.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
seem to be settling comfortably to your new job.
Yes.
It's not so new anymore.
No, not anymore.
Okay. Thank you. Crawford Park. Camille.
Yes.
I want to compliment you again for your report last month. I think it was very, very illustrative, and I also want to thank the Westmore News, reporter of whom is here today, for that very accurate story that you printed.
So, back to our, so, inquiries. As of yesterday, we had 194 inquiries year-to-date. That's 33 just this month alone. Moving on to bookings. There we go. So here's a tremendous jump. We've booked 60 events in the past 4 weeks. So we are really filling up quickly. There were 15 people that we had to turn away, but everyone else was pretty happy that they were able to get the dates that they wanted. Some people are able to wait to see if the dates become available, so we always keep a short list, just in case. And fees waived, year-to-date, 137,000. The usual groups that are here, the schools, the scouts, et cetera, continue to call and use us on a regular basis. Any questions before I go on to revenue?
No, I'm looking at the upcoming series.
The upcoming what?
Series.
Oh, well, that's the last page. We only have one page to go
I've jumped
till we
ahead.
get there. Okay. So revenue, this is our new reporting format, which seems to have covered a lot of the information that everyone has been asking. So revenue adjusted, the first box is money, basically it's cash in the past month. So 19,000 in the past 4 weeks. We deduct the security deposit and the staff gratuity, which is why we're referring to it as adjusted, okay? Rental fees paid. These are events that have been executed in the past 4 weeks. We have, again, removed the security deposit, staff gratuities, and for April, we are at $29,700 for the events that have been executed. Labor costs for the past 4 weeks, $3,400. And I'm just going to scoot right over to the adjusted revenue, which year-to-date brings us to $40,500. For the month of April, it was $26,300. Any questions on
How does that compare to last year, comparable period?
for, I don't know, actually, for the adjusted revenue?
Yeah.
We actually weren't calculating it and tracking it monthly like that. I'll go back and see if there's a way we can pull those numbers.
Well, what about the gross revenue?
You should be able to pull that from last year, yes.
Because I know we changed the accounting format,
Right.
but I'm just curious in terms of, how, you know, what the, essentially what the occupancy is.
Okay. I'm sure we can do that.
Just a little confused, and excuse me, I'm looking at revenue adjusted, which is security deposit minus staff gratuity. For the month of April, it's 19,000. Rental fees paid adjusted, minus security deposit, minus staff gratuity adjusted is 29,000. What's the difference between those two figures?
The 19,000 is cash that comes in. So the past 4 weeks, we took in $19,000. Moving on to the other box, this represents what we made in revenue for the events that were executed during the past 4 weeks. So they really don't go together. Okay, let me try to make it more clear. It's a little complicated. The 29,700 is what was paid in the month of April for rental fees. So those are events that have been executed.
So if the event took place in March, but the payment was received in April, that would be,
Well, that wouldn't be the case because you have to be paid in full prior to your event. So the 29,000 is an accurate number in terms of the events that we had and the revenue that we received based on the rentals that they paid.
So what is the $10,000 difference attributable to? If the revenue is 19 and the rental fees is 29?
Well, the revenue, that's completely a different category. That has nothing to do with the events.
Where is that revenue coming from?
It's coming in for events that are in the future. It's coming in for current events. So that's the number that we received for the month of April.
And
So
have-
it could be for any number of items.
so you're saying the 29,000 can include events that are taking place in June or July?
No. No, I'm sorry. We say we had 5 events in April. The total cost or the total revenue for those events was 29,700 after we removed the security deposit and the staff gratuity. So that's what we were able to capture as far as revenue for those 4 weeks and the events that we had.
But how are people paying? I mean, you're deducting the security deposit, and then do they pay in increments, or it's like your security deposit and then the balance?
It's a little of both, actually. I mean, the revenue portion of our reservation system is a very fluid process. At any given time, we could be taking in security deposits, people can be paying the balance due, people come back and pay for upgrades. So it's a whole host of different items that are being charged. So why don't next month I'll try to break it out with actual examples, if that will help.
It would help me. 'cause,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause
100%
these-
clear.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
just wondering if we're getting into the weeds a little bit too much with some of these charts, because for me, I can't speak for the other members. I really want to know when we rent the space for, let's say it's April, rent the space, how much was the rental fee?
Okay.
And I'm really not interested in the security deposit. I assume we're giving the security deposit back.
Yes.
Basically, we want to know what the net revenue is for the event. And,
Well, I think, Gary, also to have the labor cost included too is important.
yeah, well, that becomes the net. I agree.
Correct.
But you want to look at the gross revenue, and you want to look, after that, you want to look at the net. But I think that there are the events that have happened, and I think we also want to know, and maybe this is where the confusion is, if somebody's booking an event now for July, now they're paying a deposit, a
Yes.
security deposit, and
Yes.
they're paying part of it, so that becomes revenue, but that's not the final number. The final number doesn't occur until the event actually
Correct.
happens
Yes.
and it's paid for.
Yes.
And I think that's the main thing that we want to know, to make sure that our model is correct, and that we are continually renting it especially to the residents,
Yeah.
and, and how we're doing.
So,
So I think that's what I'm interested in. So I don't know about the others, but I think that's where we need to go.
So I just want to make sure I can prepare what the numbers that you're looking for. So what you would like to see on a month-to-month basis moving forward is for each month, the number of events that we executed and what the value of those events were in terms of rental. Okay.
So obviously, the chart that you're doing, when we have the municipal events, the fees waived and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but as I said, there are two ways of looking at it. One is what we've done. We've had these events, we paid for the events, or we've waived the fees for the events. That's fine. The other is, how are you booking in the future? You're booking into July, August, September, 24, 25, 27. That's something I think that indicates the demand for the facility. I think that's important that we have that we know that the facility is in demand, because at some point, we're gonna look at it towards the end of the year, and you're gonna wanna look at our rental rates. Are they proper? Are they improper? Are they too high? Are they too low? So that the council is gonna wanna take a look and see this whole model to make sure we're doing what's best for the community. All right?
Okay.
I have one question. With the fees and everything and all the money that comes in, is that going into the general fund or is that going in their separate own account here?
General fund.
It goes in the general fund. I was thinking, is there a way we can just have Crawford Park have like its own account?
We can't, as far as I understand, and Davey would know better than I, our controller, it goes in the general fund, but we segregate it on the books.
Yes, I know we
We
segregate in the
don't, we don't
books,
keep
but
a separate fund for Crawford, that's only for Crawford. We could, like the city of Rye has enterprise funds
okay.
that you could set up. I think that like the Rye Golf Club is an enterprise fund. I'm not sure exactly how it works over there, but you could do that. But I don't think that our facility is really big enough and generates really enough. We're not generating millions of dollars of income. We're in the thousands, you know, I think our budget is what, 200 and some odd thousand for income? Yeah, so, you know, it's not that large that we need to keep it totally, a separate fund.
Well, I was just thinking if it was separate, just like if we have a better idea what's going on with it, even though I know we get it and then we separate it through the book system, I understand that because I see.
Well, it's just the same, Tommy, in the books, but the bookkeeping is the bookkeeping.
Okay,
The books are kept separately. That's how Camille can give these reports, because she sees the income coming in, going out, who gets paid what. And then we have the accountants looking over, and we have Davey looking over them. So, you know,
I mean, the main concern is any excess revenue beyond what we've budgeted to make sure that that stays in the general fund.
Well, my main
to be
concern-
allocated in the prior year as opposed to.
my main concern is that I want to see these rates lowered. I really
I
do.
do.
And that's the reason why I want to really have an accurate account on what it cost us to run this place, so we have an accurate account. And then this way, we can adjust the account, you know, adjust the numbers for rentals. And that's just me,
Yeah.
you know, that's how I feel about
I
it.
think it should be affordable for the entire community.
right now, as far as I'm concerned, it is affordable, because we have a lot of demand, and we have a lot of demand from all aspects of the community, except for Rhinebeck. And Lindsay, that's your responsibility. You're not out there beating the drums to use the facility. And don't forget, if, you know, sometimes you become a victim of your own success, because if there is such demand, then people are not going to be able to use it. If somebody wants to have a birthday party in August, and all the August dates are taken, then they're going to be disappointed. And if you lower the rates, look, I'd love to be able to do that as well, but if you lower the rates, you're going to increase the demand, and it's going to make it even more difficult. That's why I said a few minutes ago, at the end of the year, we need to look at the entire picture and see exactly where we are, and then the council will make a determination as to how to go.
I'm going to tell you something, The reason why we have such demand, because this place is gorgeous. It's a hell of a lot, but you did what your campaign was to fix this place up, and we did a tremendous job doing this place. You spearheaded it, and this is the reason why this place is in such demand. Well, it's the truth, you know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but just because we have high demand doesn't mean we should price out
Well,
part of
no,
the
that's what I'm
community.
saying, you know.
Well, this isn't a,
And we have to have accurate numbers to see what it actually costs, and if we're able to, yes, we do it. But we have to be able to do it. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I've always said the parks are for the people, and if you break even at best, that's what it is.
Tommy, that's what we're looking to do.
I know that. But
We're
I
looking-
know that.
we're
That's why
not
we have to have
looking-
accurate numbers.
We're not looking to make this a facility that generates a lot of income for the town. We're a facility where we want to at least break even and provide a service for the town. And I think we do that. Okay, let's move on. Thank you. Oh, Camille, you're not done.
I'm not
You're
done.
not done.
Speaking
You're not
of
done.
community, save the dates. This is the listing or the calendar of all of the events that we currently have planned for the summer. We're pretty excited about it. We've got some great talent. We've got some great family movies. The first concert is June 4th with Gil Paris and Curtis Winchester. Everyone here, I'm sure, is familiar with Gil. If you're not familiar with Curtis, he is just a wonderful performer, and the two of them really put on a wonderful show. On July 2nd, we have the Westchester Philharmonic back. We have Funk Salsa Urban back. They were a huge success last year, and that we're going to have them here Friday evening, July 14th. Bring your dancing shoes, because everyone was dancing last year. And Gil Paris and Friends are coming back August 5th. Okay? Sure.
I see you got the last one is August 5th. You have anything coming up, like maybe September or October? I know it gets chilly, but people can wear a jacket.
Yeah, no,
Or we
nothing
can
yet,
have it indoor, nothing yet,
but we
okay.
certainly can.
And
book more.
another thing is, I've had a lot of people talk to me that you do a fantastic job, you're easy to work with, they really like talking to you and everything, and you're doing a good job.
you.
You know?
Thank you.
Listen, I tell you like it is, and that's, I'm
I
getting
don't
good
do
with
it, I don't do it solo. I've got a
No, I know,
really
you've got a
wonderful
good
group of
team,
people
and I
here.
hear, you know, you're very cooperative and very, you know.
Thank you.
So,
We try to be.
you know, and on another note, Curtis Winchester is a Portchester native.
Yes, he is.
You know, he's from Portchester, Curtis. He's a really cool dude, too, you know, he's a
He was
good
my
guy.
neighbor.
Yeah, he's good people,
Yeah,
Curtis.
He is. So I highly recommend you sharing these dates with your family and friends, because it's really going to be a great summer. And we are absolutely open to having some additional performances, movies, et cetera. And then we have 3 movies. First is Minions on June 23rd, which actually is the last day of school in this area, so we thought it would be a good night to have a family event. We do have rain dates for the movies. July 21st, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I'm not familiar with, but I think it's one of the newer Disney movies. I'm sorry, no.
It's a great movie.
Sorry.
Great movie.
Well, I'll be here on the 21st, make sure I can see it. And then we have Lorax on August 18th. So we are still open to suggestions. We will fit in whatever we can. I know we want to get Mike T back. We'll find a date probably somewhere in the middle of August, I guess, for
He
that.
had
If anybody
He was great.
watching this
He was
broadcast, whether it's on cable or Facebook or whatever, if you have suggestions, if you know performers that might want to come and join us, please,
Give us a
let us
call.
know. Give Camille a
Yeah.
call.
Absolutely. So, and to the right is the actual event flyer or signage for the first event. And we are definitely working on very large signs. I'm talking 6 foot by 4 foot outside on the road. We would love to be able to put them in the village of Rybrook and Portchester. We just need to I guess, speak to the village managers to allow us to do this.
And Rhinebeck too.
Yes. And so that's in process right
We
now.
gotta get Lindsay's people up here.
Yes, exactly.
Sure, when you post your images on social, you're boosting them to those communities. That's that is a good
Yes.
way to get
Okay.
deeper
Yep.
aggression.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Wait,
everyone.
hang on. The cafe, are we having the cafe
Oh,
open?
yeah, we are. The plan is to open it Memorial Day weekend. So,
So we'll get the entire summer season this time.
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, we will.
Good.
All the campers, and we are going to let them know in advance that the cafe will be available to the campers, and hopefully that will increase. All right?
All right, good, thank you. See, Vic's not here, so we'll skip his report. Financial report. Dave, are you on?
He wasn't sure if he would be able to make it tonight.
Okay.
He did send the financials over.
The financials are in the, and I note that our tax receivables are less than 1%, which is good.
I did want to mention, this is, Gary, the first meeting that we're on Twitch.
Okay. What, okay, hold it. What is Twitch?
What is Twitch?
It's another streaming platform.
Oh, great.
So, yep, so Patrick did a great job. He got
Thank
us
you,
all
Patrick.
situated so that, talking about broaching more communities.
I love that.
Okay.
We are now on Twitch.
Great. Nick, I see you are on. Nick?
Yes,
Mr.
good evening,
Receiver of
Mr.
Taxes.
Supervisor, members of the town council, Nick Mecca, receiver of taxes. I have sent out late notices for the county and town tax, which was not paid by over 500 people, and to me, that's kind of heavy. And remind everybody that in 2 weeks, they'll have the village bill. So once you start getting behind, it can be kind of hard to catch up. So everybody, please take a look, see if you can get the payment out for the county and town. And then right behind that, you'll have your bill from either Rybrook or Portchester. Any questions for me?
Nope. Not for me. Anybody else? No. All right, thank you. Jeff, you have a report from the town attorney?
Nope, nothing to report.
And Hope, your
Submitted
report
my
is submitted?
report. Yes.
It's all there. Okay, our next meeting is June 15th. A reminder, Rytown Park, our community conversation, is on Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you have anything you want to discuss about Rytown Park, please come to the pavilions. It's an open meeting. And everybody can have their say as to what they would like to see at the park or if they want to complain about what we're doing. So with that, comments from the council? If not,
None?
So many volunteer opportunities. Please go to the town website to see what we've got going on. And we're giving back love to everyone in the community.
thank you, Pam.
Just one thing, I'd just like to have everybody come out on Memorial Day and come and support our veterans and come out and come around and do the stations with us.
We have lots of events upcoming, Memorial Day, Pride, Juneteenth, aside from the normal events. So thank you one and all. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.